Hi, welcome back to, this is our second cooking class or demonstration, and thank you for all the kudos from the last one. I can't take much of the credit. Katie did an amazing job of editing, so she actually made me look almost sane. Today we're going to do a nice summer dish. We're going to do some Maryland lump blue crab cakes. It's that season. Actually, right now they're molting in the Chesapeake, and it's also at this time of year where you can get soft shell blue crabs. But today we're going to do the traditional crab cakes. I'm going to send you a kit similar to the last time. For those of you who did it the last time, basically everything's going to come. Some of the stuff I've done ahead of time, but for the most part, you're going to make crab cakes. It's going to come with some remoulade, which is a French-based aioli. Originally in France, it had mustard and egg and cornichons and capers. It kind of came to this country in New Orleans. The French chefs realized that people like spicier foods, and it's kind of evolved into a more spicy aioli, with the addition of some Tabasco and peppers. And we're also going to serve that with a little corn and black bean salsa, and then a quinoa salad. And those are going to come already made. Quinoa is it's a seed from an amaranth plant that grows mostly in South America, Bolivia, Peru. They used to use it to feed livestock, but now they've found that it has incredible protein and vitamin B, and it's become a real health food fad. And it's quite tasty. It'll take on whatever flavor you add to it. So, here is your kit. You're going to get crab meat, Maryland blue lump crab meat, and it's going to be about 12 ounces. And if you look at it, you can see that the crab meat is still all nice and big lumps out of the claws and the back fin. And so you're going to put that into a mixing bowl. We're going to add 1 egg, about a tablespoon of Dijon mustard, and roughly, I'm going to say about a cup of mayonnaise. Put a little bit of Tabasco, just to give it a little pepper flavor, and actually a little bit of white pepper, about a teaspoon, probably half a teaspoon. We're going to take a red pepper. We're going to challenge your knife skills again, and you're probably not going to need the whole thing. I'm going to say probably half of it, and we're going to try to do what's the French call a brunoise, which is a really fine dice. And what we're going to do is cut them in strips or julienne first. And then come across. And just use the back of your fingers as a guide. Be sure you use a good sharp knife. It always makes the job a lot easier. Alright, so we're going to add that to our mix. And then I'm going to take some chives. Probably about 5 or 6 full-length chives. I like to just take the ends off. They tend to be a little stiff and yellow and a little tougher. So you're going to chop those fine. Some of you commented that I was done before you guys were through chopping your vegetables. This isn't a race. So go at your speed. At this point, I'm gonna just mix that up. So it's kind of almost like a wet salad, wet tuna salad almost. All right, at this point we're gonna add our binder. There's two ways of doing it. You can actually take how my mother and grandmother used to do it. They used to take old white bread and cut all the crust off of it and then dice up the bread. But since that time, there's something called panko has come around, which is a Japanese breadcrumb, and it's pretty much almost the same thing, except it's toasted. And I found it to be a lifesaver over the years. So I don't really have to chop up bread anymore. So about a cup of the panko, and then you're gonna mix it, and that's just gonna kind of bind the whole thing up. It actually really disappears. It's gonna get absorbed by the tomato and the egg. And you don't want too much filler in this. You want the crab to really shine. And at this point, you can almost test it by getting your hands right in there and taking one of them and forming it and see if it stays in a ball. And if it does, you're pretty much there. So what you're gonna do is, this should be enough to make probably 4 to 6 crab cakes, depending on how hungry you are. I'm gonna do 4 because I'm gonna send a kit for 2. And I know a few of you are solo, I can do that. I'll send you a smaller kit. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna form 4 crab cakes. At this point, I've turned my burner on, and it's kind of a large saute pan. It's kind of overkill, but I wanted to use the Teflon. I'm going to add some oil, not too much, and I wait for that to get a little hot. And what I'm going to do at this point is I dredge these in a little bit of just flour that's been lightly seasoned with salt and pepper. And my oil looks like it's starting to go. So, and I got a little sizzle, so that's a good sign. So what you want to do is get a nice crust on this. And again, there's not a lot of filler in these. These are going to be predominantly 80% crab meat, which is what you want. So, and I don't try. As you can see, I was pretty simple with the ingredients there. Some people add Worcestershire. There's a lot of variations on it, but I like the crab meat to come through when I do these. I don't want to mask it with anything that's. I think Worcestershire is too strong, but some people add it. Some people down south, they add Old Bay seasoning to it as well. That's pretty popular down in the Maryland area. Again, I think it masks the flavor of the crab. So it's going to take about 3 or 4 minutes on each side. We do want to get it heated through. You know, sometimes even here at the club, what I'll do is I'll saute them on one side, flip them over, and sometimes I throw the whole pan in the oven for a few minutes. Usually because we need the burner for something else, but and that works as well too. So if you have an oven preheated at, let's say 375, you could do one side, flip them over, and throw the whole pan in the oven. But in this case, I'd have to take the rubber thing off. But all right, so I'm gonna take a peek and see how we're doing. I'm gonna lift up the first one and put in, and yeah, we're just about there. We're getting a nice crust going on these. And these smell wonderful again, similar to when we were doing the bouillabaisse and the fennel hit me. This crab meat foot smell is just wonderful. So a few more minutes. We want to keep these through. You don't want them to be cold inside. And the egg will also help to set this up. It actually it helps hold the whole mixture together, the breadcrumb and the crab. You could use a paper towel at home. I usually take these off and put them on either a paper towel or a towel to just get any excess oil off of them. It's more for plating purposes because I want them to look pretty when they hit the plate. I don't want a big grease skid mark on the plate. So at this point, I can pretty much feel that they're almost set up inside. They're not. They've actually gotten tighter. I'm going to shut my burner off. So we're going to serve this with a quinoa salad. So I made a quinoa salad with just some olive oil and lemon and some fresh vegetables and some arugula that I diced up, and I'm just going to put a little pile of that right at the top of the plate. So I want this to kind of be a meal for you guys, not just a little selfish one. Not just that, normally this is just an appetizer for us here at the club. But this can be a meal. I'm gonna give you some corn and black bean salsa right off to the side. I'm going to put a lemon on each plate. And I've shut my burner off at this point. So, and then remoulade, you can either put it right on the plate, which I usually do, or you can leave it in the ramekin. Quickly give a little grain to our crab cakes. That bottom side. Same thing. And here you go. We have Maryland lump crab cakes with quinoa salad, corn and black bean salsa, remoulade, and a great summer dish. Quick and simple. If you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to call, or you can always rewind the video if you think if you missed something. And I'm willing for and open for suggestions for any time for the next, for the next series that we do. Wide open. So again, thanks. I appreciate you guys, and I hope you enjoy this. And that's it. Bye until the next video, and thanks.